Hello viewers, and tonight let us take a look on what is happening in the nation South Africa. Cyril Ramaphosa was declared president and they've gotten into a marriage of convenience with the DA. There is a great possibility that you are going to see DA influencing a lot of appointments which are going to happen from the vice president going down to the ministers and also probably the ambassadors and other representatives of the government. But what is very important to note is that not all South Africans are happy with this development. Mass resignations are coming in. Several ANC members are resigning as we speak at this point in time across South Africa, registering their displeasure to the government of coalition with the DA. Let us hear some of the issues raised by South Africans.
Careful. I think we should be careful of how people interpret these results. I think there is no neutral interpretation of the outcomes of the result. If you say that the people have spoken, you must then tell us they have spoken and what is the meaning of what is the meaning and the instruction of those votes. I think often, I've seen it in the ANC, that it has been interpreted, these results of the people, in order to further sell out to the people. The people have spoken. They voted the ANC out of power for its failure to stick to liberation vision, to fully implement the Freedom Charter, to better the lives of the people, and they voted it out. And what we see crystallizing in front of our eyes is the ANC, that instead of doing a clear thing that needs to be done, to say EFF come here, MK come here, UDM come here, and still look around which other political party where people have voted, let's form a government in order to put together a revolutionary agenda that will change the quality of life of the people.
This is a clear position. South Africans are expressing themselves and they are clear about what needs to be done and what was supposed to happen. But there is nothing they are going to do because they voted for the ANC, they voted for the MK, they voted for the EFF, but they also voted for the DA and other political parties aligned to the DA. And with that influence, they are now controlling whatever which is going to happen in South Africa. And to make matters worse, 11 million South Africans didn't vote. And they didn't even bother to protest that they didn't vote because of the problems. It was going to be good if we had gotten into the morning with millions and millions of people at the polling stations demanding to vote. That was going to make sense, but they didn't do it, which means they didn't go to vote, maybe deliberately, or after they were inconvenienced, they made a decision to stick around, to stay at home. And that is their problem. So this is the bed which they made. They have to carry it. They have to sleep on it. They have to bear the consequences of this government. But what are the chances of this government to survive? They are slim. Let us hear more opinion about the issue in South Africa.
Worked, give and take. Now today we're faced with the same scenario, but more complicated. More complicated. There's a lot of mushrooming of parties around us, which I don't think it's true to say they don't see eye to eye. They pretend not to see eye to eye. In private, they do see eye to eye. They do understand they're all South Africans. They must find one another. You will have a popular scenario for business, which says ANC and DA. But if you go deep into the future, and I mean the next 2 years, both ANC and DA will lose a lot of votes in local government if they went together. And they know it. So for their own selfish reasons, it's not advisable for them to go together into bed. Doesn't matter what business thinks. Politics is about reality and practicalities. It's not about theory.
So this is what happened. What is happening is that it's very difficult for the ANC to remain relevant when they've gotten into a marriage of convenience with the DA. This is the new government. They are now the ruling party. What is going to happen is that South Africans are going to deal with this situation for a very long time, unless those within the ANC make a move But are they making a move? No. They are actually resigning. And when you resign, another person is going to take over that position you have left. What does that mean? What it means is if they continue to resign en masse, they are going to strengthen the opposition, but not for this current situation, but for the future situation. What it means is that we have to wait for the council elections to happen. That is only when the opposition, the MK and the EFF, might make an impact and register victory over the ANC, victory over the DA. But it also depends on how the ANC and the DA are going to be able to deliver in the South African economy. If they manage to impress, chances are that people will say, okay, we didn't know that this is something good. They will embrace it. But if they fail to deliver, then it will be a chance for the MK and for the EFF to rise again for the council elections which will come. The only hope is for the ANC members to fire Cyril Ramaphosa, to find a new president who is going to disband this government and form another government of national unity or a coalition. So at this point in time, there is a problem. But let us hear about the plans of Helen Zille and the DA. Their plans were clear. They wanted this thing to be destroyed. They wanted ANC to be completely inherited and to be completely destroyed. This was the plan. So getting into the marriage of convenience with the ANC will destroy the ANC and will pump up the base of the DA. Let us see it.
It is. And let me make a prediction. Because the ANC doesn't know what it stands for anymore, because it can't revert to principles, because it hasn't got any, believe me, in my lifetime, I will see that party die too. But believe me, no one would ever have said in their wildest dreams that within my lifetime, the National Party would be gone.
So this is it. Helen Zille wants to see the ANC dead, and the ANC has gotten into that direction. Mass resignations which are happening means the cadres who fought for the ANC, the cadres who have worked for the ANC, who have been entrusted by people in various places, they are going to resign en masse, go with their supporters and people to join other political parties, most probably the MK of Jacob Zuma and the EFF of Julius Malema. What it means is up until the council elections come or the local authorities elections come in the nation South Africa, ANC will continue to drop, ANC will continue to die. There is a possibility that you might see that influence happening in the councils. If it happens in the councils, what it means is this will be the end of the ANC, because ANC councillors might resign en masse so as to register their displeasure, join the MK party and contest under the MK party and win. That will jeopardize any plans for the ANC. That will send a shockwave to the people remaining in the ANC, and that is going to force out Cyril Ramaphosa. That is another option. So as it stands right now, resigning without a plan does not mean anything, because you will simply resign, but you never change anything. What is happening is that several people have started to resign. These are prominent people. So many resignations have been noted and have been seen so far, and we need to take a look on some of those. This is one of the resignation. This is Lizzie Shabalala, a former ANC MP who resigned from the ANC with immediate effect, and others are still resigning as we speak right now. So this is not the only person. There are some persons, there are so many of them who have resigned. This is another one. This is Benson Motsumi. He resigned as well from the ANC. These are very, very important people who are part and parcel of the ANC leadership who are resigning en masse. There are so many, we cannot end all of them, but this is what is happening. But in my own view, I don't believe that these resignations are going to change anything. This is another resignation there from MGM. He's resigning. This is Mankokwane Tony, And it's happening at this point in time as we speak. What does it mean? This is going to send a message only if they start to resign at the council level, which will then force by-elections to happen. Remember, the elections in South Africa are two-dimensional. The national and parliamentary elections, they go through the proportional representative, and the local authority elections, you elect a direct candidate to the post in a certain ward or in a certain area, which means this is very important for the ANC. If they want to make a move, they must force their members to resign en masse, but not any member, the council members, so that they join other parties and they contest under other political parties. But it depends with the willingness of those political parties, for example, the EFF and the MK, to co-opt those members and let them contest the positions they've lost and support them. This is the only strategy they can use also at this point in time. This is what is happening in South Africa. We continue to see how this government is going to be built, who is going to be the vice president, who are going to be the ministers. And you are seeing a lot of demands being made. Patriotic Alliance, they want to be the Minister of Police or to be the Ministers of Home Affairs. And the Minister of Home Affairs, is very difficult for him to get that role. But maybe for the Police Minister, there is a possibility. This is the reason why Becky Cele didn't come back to Parliament. There is great anticipation that the PA is going to get the ministerial position for the police through Gayton Mackenzie. So this is what is happening, and it's very important to note that several political parties, they are eyeing several positions. But if South Africa makes a mistake of giving the foreign affairs to a DA candidate, then their relations are in jeopardy. Remember, South Africa is a member of the BRICS. This is going to make them very difficult to operate in the BRICS, as well as also to have a pro-Israel part of them. Remember, BRICS is against Israel, and this is now a government of South Africa which is part of BRICS and working with pro-Israel people from within. If they give this foreign ministry to the DA, then we are going to see more problems, because South Africa will likely change its stance on Israel. That is very important to note. So this is it. This is what is happening. We'll wait to see what is going to happen. Who will be the new Minister of Home Affairs? Are we going to continue with Motsoaledi, or we are going to have another person? If we are to have a new person, then it means Motsoaledi's plans are going to be scattered around. But South Africa's ANC can no longer make its own decisions. They will have to make consultations. When they want to pass anything, they will have to consult, which means that the issue of foreigners in South Africa, they will have to consult. And the issue of the minimum wage, they will also have to consult. And the DA does not want the economy to continue with the issue of the minimum wage. They want the wage to be decided by the market, which means if the employer is willing to pay me 500 rands, I will have to accept it, or I have to bargain maybe from 500 to half, which is 750. So it is what it is. We'll continue to watch and see what is going to happen.